Well, what is going on, everyone? DSP here with a very special video. Normally, I wouldn't do anything like this. It's my day off. In fact, I'm in the midst of 2 days off. But seeing how absolutely chaotic yesterday was with my new studio setup and the fact that I did not get half done what I really wanted to do in the time that I had due to the delivery timing of my new desk and everything going on, I wanted to do a special video today to show you now how things are working and how things will look moving forward. Of course, keep in mind this is just an early peek. When I come back on Saturday from my couple of days off, likely we will tweak this more and more to our liking. In fact, I can already see things that are kind of like not exactly set up for the camera that we'll have to mess with a little bit. You see what I mean? But anyway, so the good news is everything that I needed to basically start doing the new level of content that I wanted to do has arrived, is set up and working. Okay. My new monitors, monitor arms, my new desk, everything is here. And if you didn't see the stream last night, over 4 hours of me building the desk and then trying to get the monitor arms working, it was a nightmare. All right. So rather than talk about the things that went wrong, I'd like to tell you about the things that went right, what's now working, and how my content will now improve as a result of it. Then I'd like to talk about the stuff that didn't go right that I still need to work on. All right. So, number one, the first thing you may notice is that my microphone is down here at an angle to my face that most people put their microphones at. Because previously my microphone was always up here and downward. And this kind of microphone, the way you're supposed to use it is to talk downward into it at an angle like this. It's supposed to pick up your voice better. So to be honest, I could even go a little bit like closer with this microphone. And the closer I get, arguably, the better it's supposed to sound. And the thing is, if I'm doing a podcast, this sounds good. And it doesn't matter if it blocks the shot. Like, what is it blocking? My shoulder? No big deal. Really, where my concern was doing a microphone setup like this was when I was doing gameplay. Okay. The good news is, I think we've kind of got the perfect solution now because I now have this desk situation and this, microphone boom arm can now really be utilized very well to maneuver the microphone around the desk, as I'll show you in a moment. However, what you're seeing now is something that's happening. I basically would have RGBs on this mic. As you can see, they go pretty crazy. You probably have never noticed this before because the microphone was always at this angle that hid them. But I'm thinking that if we're going to do this moving forward, I can't have the microphone going crazy like that. It's incredibly distracting. So likely what I will do, which will be a live adjustment right now, is to basically have the brightness go way down. I just did it. There you go. So you see how very minor it looks now? So maybe that'll be a little better. That's medium. This is high. See, max is like blows you out. High is okay. Medium, we'll probably leave it on medium for now. Okay. So immediate changes already that are going to look better, right? So I don't know. Do you guys, I'd love feedback on this. Do you think the microphone sounds better right now? I listened back to my daily rap last night and I didn't see any difference, but maybe it's just me. Last night was a crazy night where everything went wrong. But with the microphone now in position, does it sound better than it used to when it was up here at an angle? I'd like your feedback, okay? The trade-off here is if the microphone is here, that means it's going to be in the shot all the time. And you just got to get used to that. When I'm doing DSP tries it, I'll be able to move it out of the way while I eat and then maybe move it back. It's fully maneuverable now because it's here and grabbable and adjustable. It always was, just it didn't really work with my old set. Now it works because I have a real desk to attach it to, okay? So that's improvement number one. Also, just to show you, with this new setup now, I have excellent maneuverability. For example, check this out. Let me actually just mark this as my default spacing. But watch this. I can go all the way down here, and you can now see my whole torso. You can see the floor. That's the edge of my monitor now. So you can actually see the edge of the ultra wide there. And, this thing goes all over the place. Here, if I click this, it just defaults back to where I was. But I can go in all different directions to show you, hey, look, there's my monitor. There's my gaming monitor right there. And you can see it to the side of me. You can show off how the office looks. And actually, you can actually see the other webcam. There it is. You see that? That is my face cam right there. Okay, and you can see the monitor is now mounted on the monitor arm. And, you know, you could also go to the right, not that it matters, but that's my closet. That's where all the storage stuff is for my office. So pretty cool that I now have this awesome angle and maneuverability. Previously, you couldn't really do that with the old setup. It was all messy. Now you can see everything. All right. Um, all right. What I want to show you now is how face cam is going to work for gameplay, because this is going to be a little different. Okay. So arguably when I do face cam, what I would usually do is I would swap over to this screen. I'll just remove this for now, or I won't. I can't remove that. Hmm. I apparently cannot remove that. And I don't know why. I thought I could, but I can't seem to remove it from this. But anyway, to show you how the face cam will work, this is now the angle at which I play games. Okay. So obviously, I'm going to have to change stuff up. So what I'll likely do is I'll either have a controller and I'll be playing here, or keyboard and mouse is right here, which I'll adjust. But to show you, this is how it will work. I will adjust the microphone when I'm playing over here to be the correct angle, so that now that I'm playing, here we are. And I can move my chair. I actually have maneuverability where I can move the chair, and here we go. And this monitor right here is fully maneuverable, which is awesome. I'll show you that in a moment from another angle. But as you can see, this is pretty good. Now, if I go face cam mode, the only thing you see is me and the microphone, and it's an actual upper torso shot instead of that weird angle I used to have that had like my forehead and everything in it. Now it looks pretty good. And this should be for all games that'll look good. The only exception will be for a game, for example, if I'm going to play, say, Call of Duty, where I need to use keyboard and mouse. For that, I do have to scoot up onto the desk. That's fine. All I need to do is move up like this. And now I'll just adjust the microphone a little bit so it'll be more in the shot. And I can minorly adjust the camera. But the good news is, if I'm moving up, I can now move my monitor back. All right. And that was the problem, was the monitor was always like right there, or the TV was over there. Now it's fully maneuverable. If I want to move it up or back or another direction, I can while I'm playing FPS games or whatever I'm using keyboard and mouse for. And then if I'm just doing normal gameplay, I can more relax, sit back, use my gamepad, and pull it closer to me. So I have this maneuverability now. Okay. So speaking of the maneuverability, I figure I should show you the maneuverability. So let's go ahead and show you what I mean by that. Let's actually get the microphone back to the position that it was just in, so you can hear me a little better here. And the thing I'm going to have to get used to is figuring out where to sit to be centered on camera. And I will have to get used to that. Okay. So now to show you what I mean about the whole maneuverability thing. So this now is my gaming monitor. All right. This is the MSI QD OLED monitor that I bought. And it's amazing. I only used it for like 1 day so far, but I've absolutely loved this thing. Okay. Well, guess what? I got it working fully on the monitor arm. I figured it out. So now this thing will adjust, just to see how many adjustments this thing has. I can pull it towards me if I want it closer. I can lift it up and have it higher up. Rotate it super close if I need be. Now, I don't know why I would do that, because I'm going to block the face cam, and it'd probably be way too close to my face, honestly, for the size that it is. But I can angle it up, down, in any direction that I actually want to angle it. If I actually want to have it high up one day and I'm playing like this, I can do that. Okay. So it's really cool. It goes high, it goes low. It's pretty much fully maneuverable. Okay. It's very nice. And the good news is it folds like close enough to the desk that when I'm coming into the room, it doesn't block the door. Okay. So that's excellent that it doesn't block the door. I can get in and out. It has some cable management features and things like that. So it's awesome. The one drawback is that I have to remember not to hold and pull it by the sides. They say if you're going to maneuver this monitor, you have to do it from the top and bottom only, because that's where it's built, basically built for durability. If I start doing it from the sides, I might damage it. So I have to always remember I can angle it from the sides, but if I'm going to lift it or move it around, I have to try to grab it like here. Okay. But it's awesome. It's absolutely amazing. That is so cool and so different from what I ever really had The monitor is outstanding, and the fact that I can adjust it to any angle for different kinds of games and things is excellent. Okay, so we'll see moving forward how that gets implemented and how it looks. And I'm very excited actually for the improved face cam. I think this improved face cam is going to be really good compared to how it used to be. It didn't look so good. Now it's going to look amazing. Okay. So this is all great improvements, right? Obviously you already know that I had some improvements. The ultra widescreen monitor is excellent. I can use this to monitor the stream chats, contributions, everything, and I'm getting better at it. I've only done it for a day, and already I have a window where I have I can read my emails, so I can unban people on the fly if need be, or if someone sends me something urgent, I can read it. I've got the currency conversions. Like if someone sends me a super chat of a foreign currency, I've got that already ready to go. So all the stuff that I used to fumble with my phone or mess around with, I don't need to do anymore. It's all right here on the ultra wide. And I really like this. I feel like I said, I'm in a command center here where basically I have control over everything I'm doing, which is absolutely amazing. Previously, I felt like it was just the most bootleg setup, and now I'm feeling way, way more professional with the way that I'm doing things here. And obviously, that's a really good thing, right? Um, so that's excellent. The monitor is outstanding. I've now played on that monitor for 3 games, play streams, all different kinds of games. Pokemon, then Mega Bonk, and then yesterday, Arc Raiders. It looks gorgeous. 0 response time. I mean it. It's instant response time. By far, best thing I've ever played on in my life. Whether it's, gaming, anything. It's the best thing I've ever owned. It's that good of a monitor. So that's going to be amazing jumping into new games and things on it, seeing how it performs. I just can't wait. Okay. Now, the other major improvement here is the desk space that I have. I have a tremendous amount of space around me. I used to always be insanely cluttered. Everything would be tossed willy-nilly all over the place. But now I actually have room. And in fact, with this new setup, I have all this room on the side of me. I can lift stuff up and show you, oh, hey, look what showed up today. You see? Tons of space on the side. I can actually roll back and have space to move. I can stretch, which I never could do before. I had 0 room. I can actually stretch out here. And it's just really awesome to feel like I have this professional studio setup now that I never had before. Now, ultimately, what's going to happen is I'm going to find more and more stuff. You know what I mean? I'm sure over time we're going to figure out better things for the setup. Already, I can tell you, the chair mat's in the wrong spot. It's too far forward. I'm going to have to pull that back. There's going to be improvements over time. We're going to figure out other things that I can use and stuff. Okay, that's amazing. I love this. Okay, really, just to have a thing that feels real and professional. And also, I absolutely ordered the right size of desk. This desk fits absolutely perfectly where it is. And I can get in and out from behind here, right out the door, or get into the office if I need be. The good news is I owned enough lighting already. The 2 key lights that I had are perfect for this setup. The one here backlights this camera. So when I do vlogging and the as right now, it looks great. The other one backlights the face cam perfectly. It's right behind it. So I'm getting the right light no matter what I'm doing here for the situation. That's excellent. I could even mess with it with maybe if I turn that one off. Actually, why not test that, right? If I were to turn this one off right now, does that look any better? It looks pretty dark, doesn't it? Because I can mess with it. I can make that one brighter now and see, does that look better? I don't know. I think it looks better with both, honestly. But I'm sure I'll have feedback. You guys give me your feedback. What do you think? Both lights, one light? We can mess with this now because now I have the much better setup. I used to have a light on the other side of the room behind my TV. Now it's right there in front of me on the floor. Okay? So, again, all massive, massive improvements. So what does this mean? It means vlogging will be better. It's more casualized. The audio will sound better. I'm not, cramped here and feeling uncomfortable. Things will be at a glance. Things I'll be able to easily grab and show you. Oh, look, it's time to play Mario today. See? So easy. So a big improvement, okay? So all that's great, and I can't wait. I'm coming back on Saturday to play new games like Metroid Prime 4. I'm excited for that, obviously. But, and this is a big but, not everything went according to plan, and some stuff is not working and or is in process. Allow me to explain. So first off, what happened last night, the reason why I was so stressed out on that late stream, the monitor arms, all right? I'm going to be honest. The instructions are horrible. They don't fully explain how to use them. one thing I couldn't figure out was how to adjust the height on this monitor arm over here. I just couldn't seem to get it to adjust up and down for whatever reason. It was insanely tight. What they don't tell you is that you have to put the monitor on the arm first for it to properly adjust. And then, even then, it doesn't really make sense. Let me show you what I mean. So if I go like this, it easily goes up, no problem. But when I go like this, it actually fights me a bit, okay? And I think I still need to adjust it more. There is a Allen wrench adjustment on the back of that monitor arm. This is the Bank Ergo monitor arm. It's tight as hell, and it feels like you're not supposed to be adjusting it. Like, it actually feels like, oh, you're doing it too much. But that's how it is. Now, they don't explain that in the instructions because the instructions don't even have any words. It's just like diagrams, okay? So you have to really keep turning it to the right, and then you can adjust it up and down. I couldn't figure that out last night because there's nowhere in the instructions does it explain it. Nowhere in any videos online does it explain it either. From Bank or other companies, no one explains it. So I had to figure that out on my own. Now it works, okay? So I'm happy I got it working. I might even adjust it more to try to make it looser going up and down. That frustrated the heck out of me, okay, to be honest. And I'm glad that now I figured that out. Now I can adjust the height of the monitor arm. But the other problem, this is the biggest one right now, is that this monitor, this is the Sansui, so Sansui, 34-inch ultra-wide monitor, 1440p, looks great. Usage seems to be great. I used it for a day so far. I love it. This monitor is basically falsely advertised. And you might say, what do you mean by that? The monitor says, oh, it'll fit any VESA mounting standard or VESA mounting standard. It's 75 by 75 millimeters or whatever when it comes to the holes on the back. That's true. It does have 4 holes on the back in that configuration, except the holes are in a circle that's depressed into the back of the monitor. So unless you have a certain kind of mount, it won't fit. This mount that I bought, these Bank mounts, I don't know if it's Bank or BenQ, I don't know how to pronounce it. Instead of having a standard mount, which would be like almost like a cross sticking out, like 4 arms going out, and that's what goes into the screws, this one has an easy mounting system, which is actually a big metal square. So you can just attach that to the back of your monitor and just hang it like a painting and then hang it off again. It makes it easy to put monitors on and off without having to screw them in and out. Problem is, it's a metal square. Guess what a metal square doesn't fit into? A depressed circle. So even though this monitor claims that it's the VESA standard, it will only work with certain kinds of monitor mounts. This one it doesn't work with. I've looked into it. I looked online. Some people have already complained and said, basically, you have to order some kind of special spacers or hardware. They don't even really sell it. One person 3D printed it so they could get their Sansui monitor to work properly with their monitor mount. Well, I'm not in the business of 3D printing. I have no plans on buying one anytime soon. So what this means is that basically I can't put this on any kind of a monitor mount for now. I'll have to look into it and see if I can find something, maybe longer bolts or something. I don't know. I got to look into it. For now, it seems okay. Like, as you can see, the setup looks good, right? But the one bummer here is my plan was that when I was gaming, all right, what I wanted to do was I wanted to have my gaming monitor right here, and this monitor, I wanted to be able to maneuver it up at an angle, so I would move my microphone a little bit to the right, and I wanted this monitor to be higher up and to the right, like, say, right here, so now I could see the chat and the game at the same time. Like, honestly, that was some of the whole point of it, because right now when I'm gaming, what I end up doing is this. Playing the game, looking at the chat. Playing at the game, looking at the chat. Playing at the game, looking at the chat. Looking at the up. You see? And it kind of like, people even used to say, oh, that's going to hurt your neck. Well, the good news, it never did. I've been doing this now for a long time this way. It hasn't hurt my neck. But it's a problem when I miss stuff. I can't talk to you guys immediately. You know what I'm saying? So because of that, I get frustrated sometimes. That's one of the reasons I wanted to do this big upgrade. Now it doesn't work. It just so happens I had to buy the one monitor that doesn't work with the mount that I chose. Just my luck. Okay. So if anyone has any suggestions or whatever, I mean, if anyone knows of any spacers I can buy or how I can make this work, I have the monitor mount. I'm not going to get rid of it or throw it out or anything like that. It is what it is, but it is frustrating that I spent all this money on these upgrades and now this monitor is stuck right here, which wasn't my intention. Okay. But for now it works. And I think it's a huge improvement regardless. The other thing is this desk is a height adjusting desk. Right now it's basically at its lowest adjustment. and it's actually supposed to go up 4 levels. And each one, it incrementally gets higher and higher. So it's potentially it's a standing desk. If you want to stand up in game or do stuff at the desk, you could do that. And with this setup, I mean, I would be able to do that. What if my back was sore one day and I wanted to stand up in game? Technically, I could do that, right? Just adjust the cameras or whatever, but I could do that. But I'm gonna be honest, I don't think this desk is good enough to do it. Like, I built it last night. It already, I can tell you, is not flat. I can't really show you what I mean, but like this desk is 3 pieces of wood, and the pieces of wood don't even really sit flush against each other. They only have, 2 sets of screws holding it together by a square brackets. It's not a lot of support to keep it together. So I'm afraid that if I plug it in and I try to do the height adjustment, the whole thing's gonna just break. So I don't want to do that. Like the truth is, the desk is actually fine. Like right now, just sitting here naturally feels like a good height. If I'm gonna play Call of Duty over here on mouse and keyboard, I just scoot up a little bit closer, and it actually feels pretty darn good. So I think that this is correct, and it's not going to be a big deal that I can't adjust the height. But again, I bought the desk because it was a height adjusting desk, and it seems like I can't use it. It just seems like it's too cheap to really use the feature, which is hilarious. They built it into the desk, but the desk seems kind of flimsy. So that's definitely a negative. Okay. Now, the other thing right now that's going to be my major bane of my existence is cable management. And what I mean by that is, with my old setup, I had all these cables managed well. I had them all wrapped properly. I had them all working nicely. It was easy to walk through this office, no problem. Now, to get into the office, I have to be sure that the monitor arm is pushed in, or else it smacks me right in the face when I come in the door. The only way that I can get in and out of this setup is behind the desk here, which is why you may notice there's no stand here anymore. My YouTube play button isn't here anymore. Yeah, I can't put it there. If I put it there, I literally cannot get in and out of the desk. So that's gone for good, and there's nothing I can do about that. As you can see, I temporarily put something cute here that I put at the end of the desk, but there's not a lot of room here. So I just can't do things with my setup with the background like I used to. Now, for the maneuverability and the use and the content I'm making, quite frankly, I think it's going to be better to have the new setup than the old. But it does suck that you have to lose something. So I can't do anything right here, right now. I don't even know what I would do to fix that situation. There's just no room. When I'm crossing into my studio now from the door, there's a bunch of wires coming off my monitor. All right, just to show you. You can't really see them because of the way that I've done it, but there's 3 wires coming out of this monitor. There's the uh, HDMI, there's the power, and there's the headphone jack to go to the speakers. So I have audio. And there's nothing I can really do about those. They're going to be dangling no matter what. One goes to the left to my PC, one is going across the room to the speakers. One right now is going to a cheap old power strip across the room, but I bought 2 new power strips, and one I'm going to put behind me right here. And I'm just going to run that cord under the desk to that. So that at least will be better, where it won't be like in the way, but at the same time, it might be on camera now. Like, I don't know how it's going to work exactly, but there's going to be wires kind of like in the way here, and there's nothing I can really do about that. Um, yeah, so I have to redo all the wire management in my office here. I'm not going to be doing that today. I'm actually, yeah, on the middle of 2 days off here, about to spend time with my wife. I'm just doing this quickly, a quick video as an update, but basically things will work and things will be a lot better, but this is not the final form. Like, I still have tweaking to do and things to improve um as a result of this upgrade. Okay? Oh, I do have one more thing to show you. So, I've used my magical powers to teleport a microphone into my hand directly from a warehouse. I didn't pay for it. I just stole it, magically teleported it. Right. So this week we started playing Arc Raiders, and people started saying, one of the major features of Arc Raiders is the microphone, being able to communicate with the random people that you encounter in the environment. Well, mine's off. Why? I don't have a microphone. I don't. I just don't have a microphone that works with my PC. And a lot of people had issue with that. And we're like, Phil, you should have one. At least try it and see, in other games moving forward. What if you wanted to do co-op in a game, right? What if you wanted to team up with someone on a team? You need to communicate. You don't have a microphone. Fair enough. You're right. So I bought one. I have no idea if this is any good. I used to have a blue microphone 100 years ago. I used to have the Snowball. I really liked it, except the tripod it came on broke. Like, basically, it just stopped working, and therefore I had nothing to hold it up anymore, so I got rid of it. Um, Here we are many years later, and apparently Logitech now owns Blue. I didn't know that Logitech had bought them out, but this was on sale. What's funny enough is, the Black Friday, Cyber Monday sales had ended, but it was still on sale for the same price. So I picked it up, and I'll have this now. Like, next time I play Arc Raiders, I absolutely will hook this guy up to the gaming PC, and I will use it to do like the proximity audio and see how it works and go from there. All right. So there you have it. That's another thing for the setup. That won't be used all the time, obviously. That'll be something that I'll just be using occasionally for certain kinds of games. But hey, it's another improvement, right? Okay. So, what I want to say in conclusion, thank you for your patience. I know this last week was absolutely chaotic. Only a 4-day streaming week. I ended up doing a lot of things that normally I wouldn't even do when I was streaming. That was kind of weird, right? And, no really set schedule. You didn't know what I was doing each stream or anything like that. It was very confusing. We didn't know when things were arriving that I had ordered. It was just a lot of chaos. And I know I don't like that. I like to be a structured and ordered guy. You know what I'm doing all the time. This week definitely was not that, right? Next week will be different. Next week we're going to set streams where you know what I'm doing every stream. So that way there's no confusion, there's no chaos, and people will know what to expect. Um, I'll be using all my new stuff now. We'll be testing out this monitor with a variety of games, including Metroid Prime 4, Tormented Souls 2, Super Mario Galaxy 2. We're bringing back Call of Duty. We're bringing back American Truck Sim because now I can actually mount the wheel right here. The one bummer, which now I'm realizing, oh boy, guess what? For Truck Sim, normally I would have the stick shift right here. This is where they put the height adjuster. Maybe I'll just remove it because like I said, I'm probably not even going to use it. So why even have it here if I'm never going to use it? More than likely, I'm probably just going to remove it then and get it out of the way. So that way I can actually put the stick shift on the Truck Sim, the wheel here. Yeah, I think it's more important. I'm never going to use the height adjustment just to take it off. I'll probably do that. So anyway, yeah, Truck Sim coming back. Probably will squeeze in Arc Raiders and Mega Bonk at some point. So there's going to be a good variety of stuff. Now, people have said, well, when are you going to play Expedition 33? You said last week you were interested in bringing that back, and we're actually really excited for it. I am too. But I want to finish up things that I'm in the midst of. Like, I want to finish Mario. I want to finish Tormented Souls 2 and get those out of the rotation. I don't want to have 10 lingering playthroughs, none of which are ever completing because I'm jumping between games and never really going anywhere. A game like Arc Raiders or Mega Bonk, those aren't really playthroughs. That's just messing around with the game. But there are games that have a definitive beginning, middle, and end. I want to wrap those up and not have them going on. Particularly Tormented Souls 2 and Mario have been going on for like 2 months. I want to finish those this week. So this week will be interesting. We're going to do a whole bunch of different stuff, different kinds of gameplay on the new setup, testing it and seeing how it all works. I am excited, quite honestly, for all of that. And I hope that you are too. I apologize for the chaos of this last week. I apologize if I sounded really stressed out last night. I really was trying to get all this done. I was in here for over 4 hours and couldn't get it done. And that's always frustrating, working your butt off and not getting anything done. I'm happy I got the monitor arm working. It sucks it doesn't work with this one. We'll talk about a workaround, I guess, this week. But thank you for understanding. And thank you, as always, for the engagement, for the support. This week has been absolutely outstanding for that. I love it. Everything is different now. And you made this possible. Like, the only reason right now I have this desk, these monitors, and this new setup is because of you. So thank you so very much for your patience. Now, the dividends begin to pay off, right? Now we get to start to see some of the awesome stuff that's going to happen as a result of having this new equipment. So thank you all. Have a good 2 days away. I'll be back on Saturday, bright and early for the Level 1 podcast. I hope to see you then. Everyone have a good weekend. I'll see you soon. Peace out.